I am Jeff Nelsen. I play French horn and teach fearless performance here at the IU Jacobs School of Music. My biggest goal was to do as well as possible in what I was doing, and I learned early on that you can't do everything. So I let go of a lot of things and ended up putting all my beans in a basket. What's it called? What do you put in baskets? All your eggs, thank you. All your eggs in a few baskets, and got really good and got good enough to be hireable, and let go of worrying about things because it didn't serve me at all. The concern for being good enough to get hired is useful enough to get me out of the couch and get me to go do good work. But after that, I got really good at focusing on getting it whatever the world needed it to be to want it and to hire it, Yeah. So, and I think my career I'm doing now is just I wake up still every day amazed I get to do this instead of working, and it's really great. The world decides whether you deserve it or not, and there's guidelines and hoops and all the stuff that we got to go through to get what we want or create it. But that's not our decision. I was shocked every time I won an audition. Really, that was good enough because I missed this and this and this. But yep, it's relative, and we're imperfect anyway. But how good can it be? And we put all our stock in that, making it as good as it can be, and learning which hoops it needs to fit through if it does. But it's how much do you want it, and then will I do the work, yes or no? And if it's yes, go do the work. There's a great moment in The Life of Brian, the Monty Python movie, where the emperor comes out and says, "You are all individuals." And the one guy in the back goes, "I'm not." But I often think about that, and I think about that when I thought about my value, and well, if I thought that, I'm sure everyone else thought it too, and I realized, wait, maybe not, maybe I'm unique, and what I like matters and can help, so that's the first thing. Get over yourself and think about what you care about, and go for it, and put it out there and see what happens, and ask and listen and see if it helps and if it contributes to the planet. A lot of people say people sell out or people do it for money. Money's okay too. If you sell something for some money, you get to not sell coffee for the rest of your life. You can make some money at what you're doing and spend more time at that instead of having to get 3 9-to-5 jobs. That'd be possible. You can never be too smart. If you have too much on your mind, you're not being smart. You're being intelligent, and too intelligent. Oh, this person's in the audience. Will that help you at all in performance? No. So let go of that and get smart. This bar, 2, 3, and tanks coming into Russia, or whatever you need for your story. And you've habited the rest. 3 big rules or the 3 filters through which we live are learn, love well, and let go. And the letting go part's really, really awesome. And you gotta learn to let go, and you gotta love yourself well, or love the person who's upset, and really, do you need a hug? No, okay, see ya, but when I walk into a performance, where my goal is not to make them feel a certain thing. My goal is not to win an audition, my goal is not to win a competition or any of those things. My goal is to share my greatest Mozart that I've collected and made. And when I come up to the magic line before I walk out on that stage, that's what I get onto, is I'm going to share now. And that's all I can control, is my sharing my Mozart. They're going to decide either way. Maybe their dog died and they're not listening. Maybe I can't control that. So my goals are autonomous. They're something I can achieve. Now, when I share my greatest Mozart, I end up winning the audition or getting hired and doing all these things. But in the moment of execution, all I'm doing is sharing and executing, like the gold for the Olympic athletes. Really much more simple thing. Things that struck a chord with me was that people connect more to your story of struggle than your story of success. So I've changed a lot from saying I've done this and done this, so please believe me, to this didn't work for me and this didn't work for me and I'm scared and I can't start notes on my horn sometimes or whatever it is. And that has much more value. Oh, wow, so you've been here. Best performance in the world has a million mistakes with it, right? A computer can look at it and find a million mistakes. Second best performance, a million mistakes with that one too. So who are we to say performance 1 was better than performance 2? Computer's going, nope, they both totally sucked. Well, look at all those mistakes, So bask in this human imperfection and celebrate what we've done. And and stumble toward what we want and keep going to what to do. You look behind, I look behind myself, my path is covered with what not to do. But I've been stumbling forward toward what to do. And chase it, keep chasing it. There's a story of a man who falls in a hole. Let's see if I can remember this. And he's help, and someone comes up and the first person looks down and he throws a book about rock climbing down into the hole, good luck, Second person throws down a rope or something and says, well, that worked for me last time, see ya, good luck, and then the third person climbs down into the hole with him and he's like, what'd you do that for? And he says, well, 'cause I've been in here, I know the way out, I can help. Find people that have failed gloriously, and not just failed, find some people that know the way out, know the way through, know the way forward, be creative. I was looking for summer jobs while I was at university, and I applied to 20 different construction companies. I grew up on a farm, so I wanted to do some work and make some money. And I got one job, and I was standing there talking to the guy, and it was a construction job, and we travel. We can go in British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, and you get paid for travel time as well, and you're going to get in shape, you're working outside, and all these things. And I was like, okay, great, yeah. And we're building communication towers, 300-foot high towers. Okay, I can do that, and we don't use safety lines. And it's just no. And I was like, I said, stop, Jeff, think first, and just think again, stop shaking, think again, and I still feel that now, and it's pretty amazing. And I said, yes, and I said, okay, this would be good for you. What's the worst thing that can happen? You die, right? Okay. And I did this job for 2 summers, and it was the most amazing thing. I have some great stories about the first time up the tower. He gave me a hard hat. Why? I don't know what that would have felt. And I start climbing, and I climbed things on the farm. So I'm climbing up the tower, and I get 30 feet, and I get above the trees. I'm just supposed to go get the light and replace the light. They called it a milk run. Unfortunately, the light's at the top of the damn tower. I get about 40 feet up, and I look down, which is fine, but then I look up, and the hard hat comes off. And I remember watching it going vroom, 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 and hit the tower the way my body would have if I fell. And I was like, okay, where'd that thought come from? And the next thing, I am locked into this tower. And I'm like, okay. And I realize that when I switch hands, I'm only holding on with one hand for a second. So I'm like, is that hand okay? Okay. And then I look at it and I shake the hand. And the first 10 feet, and you start learning. And I stayed there. The foreman went up past me and did it and came back down. He's like, you coming down? I'm like, sure. We got down, went to the next tower, and I got up to the top of this one, just the 75-foot tower. And then you have to belt in, put this leather thing through and then lean away and work on stuff and replace. And I had my head wrapped in, just trying to get the light bulb. Anyway, and then fast forward to 2 months later, and I climbed 300 feet up a tower, 30 stories, up the outside of a tower, and just kind of lean my thumb on the tower and put the belt in and then go. And one time a satellite dish was coming down on one of my colleagues on his arm, so I unclipped at 250 feet, climbed like a monkey around these things and swung around and got down and belted in and lifted the 200-foot satellite, because I was diligent. I cared about this guy's arm. It's amazing what you can do. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot about fearless performance in that thing, and my forearms were like whoosh, from holding on to my life for 16 hours a day, But also, with that much caring, you can work a 14-hour day, and it goes by like that, because you're very focused on what you're doing, much like those practice sessions that go by like, whoa, really? It's that time already? When you get into that. You're building, you're backstage, you're making all your choices and building. You come up to what I call the magic line. I do magic as a hobby. Magic line between backstage and on stage. Every time we enter any performance situation, we bring every choice we've made up to the line, and then we cross the line with whatever choices that serve us best, and then we're sharing. And that's it. That's all we're doing. Build, share, build, share, keep making it better, and one day we die.